I'm Greg Miller, and you're listening to Rabbit Hole Media. It kind of sounds gross, but I don't think it is.
Hello and welcome to Press Start, episode potentially 140, your weekly video game podcast right here on Rabbit Hole Media. I am one of your hosts, Kristian Lasham, and as always and as usual, I'm joined by the Jeremy Clarkson of video games, Mr. Jack Netley Thompson. Good evening, Jack.
Hi.
Welcome back to the channel and the show. How are you?
I'm all right. Welcome back to the channel.
Well,
I'm always here.
Liam Ogg, I believe, only watches this, and he may have missed a week. He may have been here when I'm sorry. I'll do better. This is Press Start, your weekly video game podcast right here on Rabbit Hole Media. If you like what you're doing and what you're doing is watching us sweat, you can follow us on Twitter at rabbithole_UK. You can subscribe to us on YouTube where you can see us anytime that you wish. You can follow us on Twitch at Rabbit Hole Media. And you can subscribe and follow on multiple different podcast services on and around the internet.
Indeed.
And now you can follow us on Instagram at rabbitholemedia_UK for all of the behind the scenes, tits and bits. If you would like to support us, you can head to merch.rabbitholemedia.co.uk where you can buy a wide range of merchandise which recently got wider, including these snazzy rabbit hole coasters. And finally,
I was about to show this one.
Don't show that one, we don't sell those.
No.
Finally, if you are watching us live on Twitch and are an Amazon Prime member, you get one free Twitch Prime membership a month. Please find it within your hearts to give the free membership to us. It won't cost you a penny, but it will go a very, very long way in helping us to bring you these shows you are growing to love. This week's episode of Press Start is going to be a little bit different to normal because we are right in the middle of the E3 cycle, as well as the launch of Ratchet and Clank, as well as a massive heat wave. So it's very, very warm, and this is the third show of the day we've done together back to back without a break in between since 6 o'clock. So it's almost 3 hours straight of 3 hours straight because we started before 6. Mm-hmm. So it's pretty much 3 straight hours of us doing this right now. The only time we've done,
I can feel it.
The only time we've done longer was the Star Wars Rise of Skywalker spoiler cast.
I don't even think that's.
I don't think it didn't go over 3 hours. It was just coming up to 3 hours actually, I think. So either way, it's warm and I'm tired. So it's not going to be the usual episode. We're not going to do the news in the same way. We're not going to do a show topic. We're not going to have hard modes and all of this nonsense.
2 hours, 39 minutes.
All right, okay. What we are going to do, though, is start with a section called What Have You Been Playing? And we're going to talk exclusively about the only games we've been playing that's worth talking about, which is Ratchet and Clank. And Jack, as you've played a bit more than me, I'd like you to go over to you and tell me how you've been finding Ratchet and Clank. Tell me tell the audience about your tale, your Ratchet and Clank.
My tale.
Your Ratchet and Clank journey.
My Ratchet and Clank journey. This game is incredible. Enough said.
End of journey.
No, this game is amazing. Here's a journey.
This is the journey I was referring to.
Yeah, here's a journey. So everyone was talking about, oh my god, this game looks incredible. This game is a visual delight and all that kind of stuff. And I was going, but it ain't. Looking at it and going, this is actually real bad. And I haven't seen particular things like this in a very long time. Deleted the game, reinstalled it, thought it could be a bug because I even looked at it on yours and went,
so
this is
the thing.
Not how mine looks.
You messaged me and you were like, it looks fucked for me, specifically on performance mode.
Yeah.
On performance ray tracing mode, it looks fucked. How does it look for you? And I was like, seems to be fine, but I've not really looked on Fidelity. I had a look, and I was like, I'm not seeing a real huge difference. Maybe it's the TV, because you've got a better TV than me, so maybe it's picking up and you're seeing some artifacts which I'm not. Maybe it's your eyes. And then Camilla had the smart idea of when you were here yesterday to try it on ours and on our stuff and see what it looks like. And you immediately was like, oh, this was way better. Yeah. You're like, okay, something is clearly awry.
Wrong, yeah. So I tried deleting the game, reinstalling it, see if it was a bug of some kind. That didn't work, so I was about to accept my fate when you said to do the obvious thing and just Google it, to which I did. Turns out if you have a TV capable of 120 hertz, which I didn't think I did, and then you have 120 hertz mode turned on your PlayStation, it bends Ratchet and Clank over and takes it to town in performance mode because it turns off HDR and it turns off all the visual stuff to compensate for 120 hertz, which no one wants because no one gives a shit. Once you get past 60, there's
Which
no
also,
difference.
they haven't even said it does. They haven't said it runs in 120 hertz.
Exactly. So I don't think it's supposed to anyway.
Yep.
So I turned off performance mode, not performance mode, 120 hertz mode on the PlayStation itself. That ended up closing the game, so I restarted the game, and I was like, oh shit, I believe my exact words were, "Oh, Google, you horny bastard."
Something along those lines, yeah. I'm glad you've...
It's been solved, so now I've been going, oh, the visual glory, this game is a visual delight.
I was going to say, I'm glad you've resolved that because, fuck me, man, this game looks so good. It's so good. I mean, I know it's cartoon and stylized, but it's such a good-looking cartoon and stylized.
For sure. I don't think that takes away from the impressiveness so much because, okay, sure, in some games it does a little bit. Borderlands, for example, takes away because Borderlands 3 and Borderlands 1 look nigh on identical.
Sounds like it hurts. Very good. I'll give you that.
I appreciated that. But this one, you're still doing fur textures. I don't think the scenery is overly cartoony.
No. It's all the environmental stuff, man.
Yeah, it's the environmental. Well, to be fair, even the character design is incredible. But
it's great.
Clank with the ray tracing off the metal surfaces, Ratchet and Rivet with the fur. Boots. Sorry. But then it's all the particle effects, all the weapon effects.
That's it, man. That's where
obviously
it looks
the reflections.
so good.
It's just the amount that's going on as well, just in the background. Like you're going to be blown away when you get a bit later into the game. It's just stuff that's going on. Like they even kind of do it to a certain extent on the first planet. You know, where you're going down a grind rail and there's just so much happening. Mm-hmm. It's just background stuff. NPC characters living their lives as they would on this planet, and just so much going on. Oh my god! Just visually, this game is incredible.
Absolutely, and I'm playing on performance ray tracing. It runs so fucking well.
Not a single drop.
It's so smooth.
Not a single frame drop.
I did have a look at fidelity for a bit, but I didn't like the frame rate drop. I much prefer to play at that higher frame rate with the ray tracing on and lose the resolution because I don't personally see.
Now that I've got it fixed, there isn't much of a difference. Yeah. That's the thing. Now that it's fixed, there isn't much of a difference. But beforehand, the reason I was so tempted to just do fidelity mode is because there was a drastic difference.
Because you were having an issue.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas, like, I very rarely do. Like, I tend to pick performances. Even on the PS4 Pro, I was picking performance modes over resolution because
I wasn't.
I personally can't really see the big difference between 1440 and 4K. Like 1080 and 4K, I can see, but normally you were getting somewhere
on the
in
PS4
between.
Pro though. Most of them weren't 1440.
They were still more than 1080 a lot of the time. Not all of them.
Just like God of War actually looked quite bad.
God of War is one I do remember that did look poorer.
Yeah. So obviously it was a game-to-game thing, but I usually went fidelity unless the game just ran badly anyway, in which case I was like, well, I need the performance mode. Final Fantasy 15 was one of them. I was just like, well, I need to put it in hyper-performance mode because it can't do it otherwise, which is insane. But yeah, this one, performance ray tracing mode all the way. Yep. Yeah.
The one sort of thing I said to you that was, I guess, a negative, but it isn't a negative. I don't mean it in a negative at all. Is that from a gameplay game thing, it is just more Ratchet and Clank. Mm-hmm. I haven't come across anything overly groundbreaking in that sense. You're still going around and collecting things and hitting bolts and using the weapons and whatnot, and it's all really cool stuff. But I'm not sitting there going, "Oh my god, this is a mind-blowing thing gameplay-wise." Because at the moment for me, it's just another Ratchet and Clank game, which is fine. Like, I don't mean that as a negative thing. I knew that's all it was really going to be, and that's all I need it to be. But that's not where I put them. And just in terms of how well the game runs,
for sure, there are a couple of elements that change the game up, as you always get from a different Ratchet and Clank. There's one in particular that is like, this is the mechanic that means it can only be on PS5. Mm-hmm. That shows up. People think.
So have I got to it yet?
No.
I was gonna say, because so far what I'm getting with the rift jumping stuff is what we were worried it would be, where it's only in particular moments and in particular ways.
Only particular moments, and also you have the thing where you pull it towards you.
That's just a grappling hook with a cool animation.
Yes.
It's cool, but so far
that's why I get,
anyway.
because I see lots of people talking about how impressive that is. I'm just like, it's an animation. It's a different animation. Instead of you moving through the world is moving to you. Yeah. That's literally all it is.
And it feels powerful.
It feels cool.
It feels impressive.
Yeah. No, it feels cool.
And then obviously
there's the, cool. I'm assuming, have you come across a pocket dimension?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's just a door opening.
Yeah.
But to be fair, though, that is loading a new area in the time you do the poll.
Yeah, of course. So it's quick loads.
That is
absolutely.
impressive. But the stuff where you go, okay, this couldn't happen, is later on.
Okay, well, I'm looking forward to hopefully getting to that, because that was my concern in the lead up to this game, was what they showed us of those moments that they were saying, all the portal stuff and the rift stuff and the dimension stuff seemed like it was just in
scripted moments,
which is less impressive if it's only in a set piece. Mm-hmm. And what I've experienced so far has only been in set pieces. Mm-hmm. It was cool. It was a cool set piece. It was a great set piece, but it's just not as impressive as what it could potentially be. So I'm looking forward to getting to that. Thank you for giving me that thing to aim towards.
Absolutely.
I would like to ask you about it, because you mentioned it, and I know Rich had the concern that the play length. So this comes down to the Power Picks put the trophy list out and gave it an estimated 10 hours to get the platinum, which obviously put the impression forward that the game is very short. Mm-hmm. How are you finding that so far? You're much further than me. What are you thinking about length?
I think that those trophy estimates, obviously they can shed a bit of concern onto game time, but for certain games it would kind of only if you play it like a absolutely insane person, and you just go, right, I've never played this game before, I'm going to read the guide and follow it exactly, as opposed to just experiencing it. That way, yeah, you'll probably get the platinum in 10 hours, because you're doing everything as you go, and by the time you finish the first game, you've got the platinum. Yeah. The first playthrough, you've got the platinum. I've not been doing that. I think I've passed the 10-hour mark.
Okay.
I haven't finished the story, and I'm on like 54% completion or something like that. It's 59.
It's really about how you're playing it.
Then. Really about how you're playing it. If you just play it, and I think if you're going for the 100% or if you're going for the platinum just naturally, at least having a bit of an explore, because some of the planets you'll see in one of them, they're quite big that you can just mosey about.
So far I'm kind of playing it with I'm not aiming to do anything in particular. I'm aiming to enjoy playing the game. Mm-hmm. So I'm just doing what feels right to me at the time. Mm-hmm. So I played a bit this afternoon before you came over, and it gave me a side mission on a planet I'd already been to, and I was just like, oh, I kind of want to go do that. I just wanted to do it, so I'm going to see what that is. So I went and did that, and I've been playing it in a very natural way, which I think means I'm going to get more hours out of it. I don't know how that's going to help me on the platinum run. I might miss some of the missables. I've seen what the missable trophies are, and I'm not too fussed about having to go back and play through some of the game to get them.
Yeah, it's more one of them you'd have to play through a lot of the game to get them.
Absolutely, but if I beeline the story, in theory that won't take very long.
It shouldn't be too hard.
And also, it's very possible I'll probably be having to go back to do some other form of clear up anyway. So I can kind of...
Yeah, the only one is that the rest of it can kind of been done by hitting continue or whereas you'd have to start a whole new game to do...
For sure.
To do that. It's semi-missable now, so you're fine.
Yeah, I'm just to see how I get on with it, really.
And it's also really easy to not miss if you know what it is, so it's fine. You'll be fine, but also at the same time, I'm probably going to have the platinum and then do the New Game Plus mode anyway, because Ratchet and Clank has always been really good at New Game Plus, where your level cap for your weapons gets higher, so you can level your weapons up again. You get like different bolt multipliers for buying new weapons if you haven't bought them all, because I don't know how I'm going to buy all the guns at the moment. I'm just like,
there's many.
How do I get so many bolts? Oh my god! But yeah, I've been doing the same thing, been kind of playing it more naturally, just how I want to play it, not worrying too much, making sure I get the missable stuff, but knowing that I'm not going to sit there spending 4 days trying to figure out how to get that gold. Like on the first planet, there was a gold bolt. I was just like, it's on a roof. How do I get to that roof? Did a couple of laps trying to look around. I was like, I'll come back later.
fair.
I move on, and I've just been doing that. I've gotten a decent amount of the side stuff on the way by myself, just finding it. So I'm not too concerned about play length. I think it's a decent length. Because there's also the idea of a game like this outstaying its welcome as well. Like you don't want that to happen. You don't want it to be 50 hours long, because by then you're just like, well, there's only so many guns you can have. There's only so many planets you can design whilst keeping the quality of each individual planet and each individual gun to a high enough standard to make it acceptable, to make it Ratchet and Clank, because that's one of the planet design's always been great. Weapon design has always been pretty much top notch in the entire industry. But yeah, I think the length is good.
Excellent. I am so far agreeing with all of that. Let's move on to E3. We're not going to be on this subject too long. As I said, it is going to be a much shorter episode of Press Start this week, mainly because there just isn't too much to go through, and a lot of what there is to go through will be on other things we're doing. But we're right in the middle of E3. We have missed the Square Enix event. Should I do a quick scroll, see if there's anything?
Nah, because if we want to do it...
Yeah, but there's no way between now and when we get around to doing it, we won't see some of it, though.
Yeah, it's not... Also, just a podcast, a live stream podcast of you scrolling through your phone.
I've already seen some really fucking cool shit. We'll do something about it at some point. What was I saying? E3. So far, we've had Ubisoft and Microsoft, plus obviously the Summer Games Fest and stuff like that. How have you been finding E3 so far, Jack? What do you think?
Meh. Ubisoft was awful. Microsoft was fine.
I have to say...
Okay, Microsoft was a good show.
Yeah.
Fine for me as an individual, because 90% of it was not for me.
Yeah.
But a show, for the most part, there were a few trailers that went on for way too fucking long. There was that trailer that shouldn't have existed, just because of its context, but they also showed a decent showing for Halo. The fact that it doesn't have a release date still is fucking outrageous. Literally, that game was meant to be out 7 months ago, and you haven't given it a date at E3.
So I said to you before the event that there was a possibility that Microsoft could do enough in this event to make me consider wanting to buy a Series X.
You did.
I can confirm it's not done that. But what it has done is make me want to play some Xbox games. Mm-hmm. And the only game still I'm seeing from that does make me want a Series X is Forza. Because fuck, man, that looked so good.
Yeah, but from what they said, I don't think it's even coming out to Xbox One.
Yeah, I know, yeah. Yeah, it looks so good, and I love those kinds of games. And I need to just fucking play Forza Horizon 4, man. Yeah. But it's the sort of thing, the reason I haven't is because I know I can connect up to this TV, stay in here, and play it with HDR, and it'll look great. But what I'd really want to do is play it in 4K and play it on a Series X. So it's just that kind of like, but Sea of Thieves, man, like, I'm in a weird thing with Sea of Thieves. The game has always somewhat appealed to me in a way, because I like pirates. Like, I like pirates as a thing. I really enjoy pirates as a world. That's why I was a little bit interested in Skull and Bones. And I'm hoping that when that game, if ever does come back into the limelight, they've turned it into more of what I want from a pirate game. And it's why I liked Assassin's Creed Black Flag. I think it was a very good pirate game. Pirates and the Wild West are basically my two favorite settings, which is a reason why I like Red Dead so much. Take all the sort of game mechanics and stuff away, I like the setting enough for me to be involved. Sea of Thieves has always been a bit off-putting because I'd have to jump so many hurdles to play it because I'd need an Xbox. I know there is an Xbox here now, but same still applies to an extent of I needed an Xbox. And I wasn't so keen on... I'm not keen on those kind of graphical styles and stuff like that. I just find them a bit off-putting. I know it's not overly indicative of what the game is, but it's still a hurdle I find it hard to get past. Charlie's just spelt my name wrong for some reason in the comments. But I've been saying for some time, I personally, and I know from previous conversations you don't overly agree, personally, I really like the Disney Pirates of the Caribbean movies.
Oh, it's not. I don't overly agree. I completely disagree. Yeah.
Either way.
Yes.
I like them. They get worse as they go on, but I like that franchise. And again, a big part of that is because I like pirates. So it's like, it ticks the boxes. It's pirates. Cool. And obviously I've got the affiliation with Disney and Disneyland and Pirates of the Caribbean, Disneyland, etc.
For sure. Now that I like.
So the announcement this evening that they're bringing Disney Pirates of the Caribbean into Sea of Thieves with Jack Sparrow and Gibbs was there and Davy Jones, that gets my attention, because now it's like, okay, I'm seeing a pirate game that looks interesting to me anyway, and now you're adding in a franchise which I like to it. You're kind of giving me more reason to want to try and play this game. It's definitely something that's like, I kind of want to work out making some time to sit and play it with Rich like he offered during the show, because I'd like to find out really what that game is about. And that's where I think Microsoft have done some good things tonight. They've done that a few times. If you have a look through it, just roughly, if we look through what they showed, Starfield, they didn't show enough of whether or not I'm going to be interested in it. It was just a CG trailer. Obviously, they did confirm it's an Xbox exclusive, but we still don't really know anything about that game. So, on that,
I imagine it'll be very similar to The Outer Worlds.
I presume so, but
just not
with
in
more
tone.
Of a Bethesda spin.
Yeah, exactly.
But we'll see. There was a few things in there announced which just either are not for me, or again, like Contraband, we didn't know what it was.
Yeah, no idea what that is.
Battlefield.
Yep.
Like, I was somewhat in on Battlefield anyway, because I like-ish Battlefield, but that gameplay trailer looked fucking cool. So I was like, yeah, I want to play this. Let's see, where do we get to? Don't care. Halo, because I've been playing Halo a bit with Rich now, like, I was watching it going, okay, I can see how this could be fun. Like, it's not making me go, yes, Halo, but I can see the appeal, and there's a bit of an appeal to me too. Far Cry 6, the trailer was shit, but I was already in on Far Cry 6 anyway.
Yep.
Outer Worlds 2 was interesting. I probably should play the first one. I'd probably like it.
Same.
Flight Simulator looked like something I wanted to dabble with if I could play it on a Series X. Forza, we've already said. And I'd love an Xbox mini fridge. And I'd like to find out what Redfall is, but I've already gone over my opinions on that trailer. I'd like to know what it is. The point is, to have that many things for an Xbox conference that makes me go, oh, like, that's a huge improvement for Xbox, because that doesn't happen for me. I've never had an Xbox conference where I've walked away like that, to the point where I've gone, oh, and these games I would need to play on an Xbox. Like Battlefield is realistically,
That'll be on PS5.
That I wouldn't need to play on an Xbox, but so many others are Xbox games. So it's like, okay, you're starting to do, for me, what we've seen this evening is Xbox starting to creep into the territory I need it to be in to justify me buying an Xbox. It's not all the way there yet, but it's a damn sight closer.
No, I think I'm hoping next year a lot more of their studios are going to have a lot more to say. Like, we'll get to see Hellblade. We'll obviously have another Forza. We'll have Fable. We'll have hopefully a Gears.
You're right.
I'm hoping.
The only thing there, though, is by that point, you would also imagine Sony are in the same situation.
For sure.
And Microsoft would have to do a lot to pull my time and money away from the Sony
No,
games.
absolutely. That obviously, I just mean, this is for me.
Absolutely.
I'm already in the
of
position of I have both.
Yeah.
So I'm quite lucky in that sense. So I can look at like all of those games that came up on Game Pass that actually did pique my interest. I'm like, I can dabble in those. I can dabble in Flight Simulator. I can dabble. I will not be dabbling in Forza. I will be full
deep.
on balls deep. Yes.
Yeah.
Because I love those games. I'd prefer Motorsport was first.
I thought it was weird, but Horizon appeals to me more than Motorsport. I like the arcade driving games.
Yeah, I'm the opposite.
Unless it's rally.
Yeah, I'm like the middle ground. I don't like hyper realism, but I like the Gran Turismos. I like Forza Motorsport. I prefer those. It's the open world element that usually bores me.
I see. That's what I like.
So, yeah,
I liked Crew 2, and I like the new Need for Speed games for that.
It's one of those weird things of, if the only objective is driving, I don't want to have to drive to drive.
I understand that.
But I still get several hours of enjoyment, and I love those games. I've played every Forza Horizon. I will play every Forza Horizon. It's not to say I don't like them, but I just prefer Motorsport. And considering that one was already announced, I thought it was just weird that we then get Forza Horizon
and then just
5 announced, and then it's coming out first.
And then just Phil Spencer saying, "Oh yeah, and Motorsport's
still coming."
Yeah.
But I'm assuming that's going to be next year's Forza. I assume they're going to go back to be annually. I assume, I could be wrong. But yeah, hopefully by next year, Xbox are in this position where they can go, we have Fable, here's Hellblade 2, here's... probably by that point, hopefully, depends on what they do with Halo Infinite. Like, here's an update for Halo Infinite. Here's what the next Gears game is, whether that be another Gears Tactics or Gears 6 or whatever. Here's a new IP that these studios have been working on, because I kind of feel like today they've been buying all these studios and doing this, that, and the other, and not enough of them showed up.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Because it's still like, okay, so you've just done good deals with other people. That's what you've got. Because most of these are console launch exclusives. Yeah. Pretty much all of them are timed, so pretty much all the games that are there are coming to PlayStation.
Yeah.
Just not first. Whereas you have on the other side, Sony may have less studios, but the deals they're grabbing are bigger. Yeah. Sony, like you've got some indie games that are coming to... Hades is a launch exclusive. Sony has 4 Final Fantasy games that aren't released yet, that are PlayStation exclusive. So hopefully by next year, their own studios have a lot more to do, and they aren't just making indie games, I hope. Because... I mean, to be fair, though, if that's what they're doing, that's absolutely fine. If that's the direction they want to take, they want to fill that market as opposed to the market that Sony's going for. And then we just have 3 different companies, with Nintendo included, filling 3 different markets. That's absolutely fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It's just to appeal to me, I would hope they start announcing some more big games. Because when Xbox do release proper big AAA first-party exclusives, I think they're really good for the most part. But they just haven't done it in a while.
Yeah. Yes, TV.
Yes, we are still here.
Yeah, no, I agree. But I think for me, E3 is still missing things like Sony. I think that whilst the industry still adapts to how things are changing, they're still missing so many fucking targets, which is a shame because I don't understand why it's that hard.
Yeah, I'm hoping by next year E3 is back to more of a normal
Hopefully.
state. I'm hoping that they don't just reside in this and go, this is how it is now. I'm hoping they do try and get it back to be this big live event. And
I do like that they have done it as a stage show, and Microsoft were there on a stage.
Yeah, no, Microsoft,
that.
they definitely pulled out all the stops and actually getting this to be as close to what they would be doing at a normal, at your average normal E3, and I did appreciate that.
I would assume as well next year's Microsoft event will be much heavier on Starfield, and Todd Howard will come out. And I think Todd Howard is fantastic at that presenting job. Mm-hmm. Every time he comes out on stage to talk about a game, even when he was only here for like a minute this evening, he's captivating and interesting and gets a good message across.
Not to be insulting, but I do think a good thing about the presentation was a lack of Phil Spencer.
I agree.
I think Phil Spencer, taking away my opinion of the games themselves, is good at that job. He's not good at public speaking.
I agree. No, he's not good at public speaking.
He just speaks so slowly. Yeah. It drives me insane.
Todd
Howard, yeah, he's really
so
good.
charismatic.
Yeah,
and I imagine...
And Pete Hines is good as well.
Yeah. And I imagine Microsoft have the sense to also know that, which is why they brought him out first. Mm-hmm. And I think that next year's event will be very heavily Starfield, and we will get Todd Howard doing a full rundown like he did for Fallout and everything else. Yeah,
I think next year, I didn't even think about the Bethesda side of things. So yeah, hopefully on top of the Gears, Halo, Fable, Forza Motorsport, etc., we get deep, kind of like how they announced Fallout 4
and Fallout 76
and Fallout 76, but for Starfield, like this kind of deep 10-minute dive, and then we'll get the treatment for what we got today of Starfield for Elder Scrolls 6.
I imagine we won't even get that next year. I think we won't get that until Starfield is out in the wild.
I mean, that's entirely possible.
I-
But I
the
just feel it
only
was
reason-
dumb that they announced it when they did.
I agree it's dumb they announced it when it is, but the way they announced it and the fact that he explicitly said Elder Scrolls 6 will be coming way after Starfield,
Oh, he did, didn't he?
like,
Yeah, I forgot about that.
implies to me that we won't see it. I just
No, I
don't
you're right.
think we're going to
I
see
think
it.
you're right. I retract my statement.
Could be wrong, but that's what I take away from it.
No, I think you're right. I forgot he said that, to be fair.
This has been a very warm press start, your weekly video game podcast right here on Rabbit Hole Media. If you like what you've been... Fuck. Rewind. If you like what you've been doing and what you've been doing is watching us, you can follow us on Twitter at rabbithole_UK. You can subscribe to us on YouTube where you can see us anytime that you wish. You can follow us on Twitch at Rabbit Hole Media, and you can subscribe and follow on multiple different podcast services on and around the internet.
Indeed.
And now you can follow us on Instagram at rabbitholemedia_UK for all of the behind the scenes tits and bits. If you would like to support us, you can head to merch.rabbitholemedia.co.uk, where you can buy a wide range of merchandise, which recently got wider. And finally, if you're watching us live on Twitch and are an Amazon Prime member, you get one free Twitch Prime membership per month. Please find it within your hearts to give the free membership to us. It will not cost you a penny, but will go a very long way in helping us bring you the shows you love. I would like to present to you a question.
Okay.
What the fuck do you want to do about Square Enix? Because I've had a look and I've seen a few of the reveals. I've seen a reveal, and it's like, oh, it'd be kind of cool to react to, but I've kind of seen what it is. I haven't seen details, but I've seen what it is, and what else could there be?
To be fair, I think the only way we'd be able to do it genuinely
is to do it now.
do it now.
I know, it's so hot. It is only 9:20 though.
I don't mind, providing I can have a fact.
Can I try and find out how long it is?
Yes. Find a video.
That's what I'm going to try and do. I'm just making sure that it's just showing me the announcements. I can't find it.
Hang on, I have an idea. Put that away. Put it away.
I don't know how to do this. I don't know how I'm going to find the stream to watch it though without just... This is a disaster. Planning on air. It's a very specific set of Googling. Around 40 minutes.
Around 40 minutes.
Let's see if we can work it out. Either way, we're going to go off air very, very quickly. We may be back. Stick around. Thank you for watching, and until next time, we shall see you then.
Bye!